In keeping with its campaign promise to make housing affordable for Nigerians, the All Progressives Congress-led federal government will on Monday unveil its plans on it. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, will make the plan public at the Affordable Housing Summit 2016, being put together by the ministry in partnership with German Development Corporation. Briefing journalists on the upcoming event, a member of the summit's technical working group and head of public-private partnership in the ministry, Mrs. Eukaria Alozie, says the summit would serve as a platform for the public and private sector to share ideas and affordable housing delivery in Nigeria.
It's actually a platform where we think that the public and private sector actors will actually dialogue, interact, share ideas, and possibly prefer a clear and sustainable, realistic, sustainable strategy framework for affordable housing delivery in Nigeria. There was something similar to it before, where they had a roadmap some few years back, but would want to say that this is more of an advocacy group. The idea is that we are going to identify all the problems, or what I'll call challenges, and prefer solutions to those problems, and identify stakeholders who will give us the answers to those solutions. What we have in mind is to build a Nigerian house. Yeah. And he already has something. That's why I don't want to talk about it here. I think he'll be in the best position to do that show. To go away from talk. Rather, what we want is action, build. That's what he wants to do, and that's why I said he will unveil his housing plan on that day, 27th, and then you will be able to ask all these questions, and he'll give you an answer. But what I know he has in mind is to build a Nigerian house, and that Nigerian house will be built across the 36 states of the Federation, and they will be affordable for Nigerians, for me and you, for the low and the middle income group, not only the formal sector, but also the informal sector.
And if there's anything that has plenty of action, it's sports. Ayotunde.
Yes, indeed, Sulaiman, it is sports. And Caterpillars are the 2016 DSTV Premier Basketball League champions after dominating Nigeria Customs at the Indoor Sports Hall of the National Stadium in Lagos. After losing the first quarter by 13 to 17 points, Pillars came out strong in the second to overturn the deficit, cruising to a 40 to 24 points lead. They extended their advantage to 62 to 43 points by the end of the third quarter and eventually ran out 71 to 53 winners at the end of regulation time.
Is that they have lost by 18 points, but I think they could have done a better job than that. They lost focus after winning that game against Royal Hoopers, and they did not come like they were determined to do this. I think they were just contented with the fact that they're already going on continent, and I think that's enough for them. They didn't come into this game right from it.
To us, we lost it last year due to some problems we had on our own, but this year I think the players were really determined. The support from the government, they felt bad, losing last year. So it's like, oh, guys, we need to get back to that spot. And they promised me they are going to be there. Then we had a good workout, and we had some reinforcement here and there, So definitely I think the players did well.
Tosin Oke and Ohunoma Osazuwa have won gold for Team Nigeria on day 4 of the African Athletics Championships in Durban, South Africa. Oke leaped a season's best 17.13 meters to finish first in the triple jump, while Osazuwa placed first in the heptathlon with a national record of 6,153 points. Nigeria's Tyrone Akins won silver in the 110 meters hurdles behind South Africa's Antonio Alcana. Poland are through to the quarterfinals of the Euro 2016 after beating Switzerland 5-4 on penalties following a 1-0 draw in regulation and an extra time. Arsenal's new signing, Granit Xhaka, missed Switzerland's penalty. Joining Poland in the last 8 is Wales, who beat British rivals Northern Ireland 1-0 in the day's second round of 16 match. Gareth McCauley's own goal on 75 minutes was the difference between the two sides. Also through to the quarterfinals is Portugal after Ricardo Quaresma scored on 116 minutes against Croatia to help his country advance. World number 3 Roger Federer says he's fully fit for the Wimbledon Championships as he aims to win his 8th title in London. The 34-year-old has recently struggled with injuries that saw him pull out of the Madrid Masters as well as the French Open, but returned at the Jerry Webber Open where he lost in the semi-finals to Sasha Zverev.
For me, it was to get some confidence and some knowledge of where I was going to be in those 7 matches in 10 days in Stuttgart and Halle. So I think that was crucial for me going into Wimbledon, knowing, okay, I passed that test. The body can take that amount of tennis, 4 matches back to back to back. It's really, really important for your mind to know. Then you also feel you can manage the 5-setters. If you get a day off and all that stuff, it's not a problem. So all of a sudden you're coming into Wimbledon, with more confidence.
Chicago Bulls center Pau Gasol says he's willing to play for Spain at the Rio Olympics despite his concerns over the Zika virus. The 35-year-old had expressed serious doubts about traveling to Brazil because of the viral illness, but it now appears he is ready to help his country, Spain, in their attempt to win gold following back-to-back silver medals at the London and Beijing Olympics. He says his commitment to the national team is greater than his fears and also wants Rio officials to ensure the safety of everyone attending the Games. Spain national team coach Sergio Scariolo will announce the final team on Monday. And that's wrap in sports news. I'm Ayo Tunde. Balogun, the news at 10 continues shortly.
It's been 1 day since the majority of the United Kingdom voted to leave the EU. Based on that decision, the EU is asking the United Kingdom to get on with the process quickly, while Scotland and Northern Ireland are looking to explore options to cement their place in the EU. However, all the members of the soon-to-be 27-member bloc, like German Chancellor Angela Merkel, insist there's no need to be particularly nasty in any way as regards the exit negotiation with Britain.
Just like outgoing British Prime Minister David Cameron, Britain's EU Commissioner Finance Chief, Jonathan Hill, cannot steer a ship which is going in another direction.
I just think that if there is a huge decision like this, which has been, that people need to see that things flow from those decisions. And I felt in this case it was right that I should stand down, and I don't think you should just carry on as though nothing's happened.
A day after the shocking news, the headlines are the same all across the United Kingdom. So long, farewell EU. There are mixed feelings on the streets of London, especially for foreigners working in the UK, as they do not know what comes next.
I'm worried because I don't know what's going to happen after Brexit actually happens. I don't know how it's going to be. We are going to need work permits, visas, or we have to go back to our countries. I don't know.
However, some citizens feel it was a good move for the UK.
Find out what happens when it happens, don't we? But I think it was a good decision. Although most of London went against it, the rest of the country went for it. If you've got more than 1 million people that want to go for out, then it has to be out, because that's what the will of the people is.
The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon and French President François Hollande might not be too thrilled with the situation, but they agree on the fact that the exit must be orderly. The global markets have never been fans of uncertainty, and the Brexit sends the US stock market plunging. The Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeted 611 points, and the Nasdaq slid 202 points. Despite the strong market response, an expert says there's no need for panic.
I think that this uncertainty is going to be subdued very, very soon.
There is a possibility that the United Kingdom might no longer be united for long, now that Scotland and Northern Ireland are seeking to protect their place in the EU. At the moment, a petition calling for a second referendum on UK's membership of the EU has gained more than 1 million signatures. All eyes will remain on the United Kingdom, especially ahead of the first summit of EU leaders with no British representation, which will be held next Wednesday, a day after Mr. Cameron holds talks with members.
At least 23 people in West Virginia have died in the U.S. state's worst flooding in more than a century. The mountainous state was pummeled by up to 10 inches of rain on Thursday, causing rivers and streams to overflow. The focus for government officials is now on resources on rescuing those trapped or swept away by the flooding, as some 66,000 residences are without power. The rescue and recovery effort is likely to last through the weekend. A somber Pope Francis paid tribute to the 1.5 million Armenians massacred in 1915, an event which he labels a genocide. The use of the term is bound to enrage Turkey, which denies accusations of ethnic cleansing, claiming the death occurred in the fog of World War I and the crumbling of the Ottoman Empire. It is not the first time Pope Francis has described the large-scale killings as genocide. During the mass marking the 100th anniversary of the death in April of 2015, he said the events were the first genocide of the 20th century, echoing a phrase first used by Pope John Paul II in a 2001 joint declaration ahead of his own trip to Armenia. In a largely Orthodox land where Catholics are a minority, Armenians have seemed genuinely honored to welcome a pope who has long championed the Armenian cause from his time as an archbishop in Argentina and now as leader of the 1.2 billion strong Catholic Church. And the main news again. 2 inmates awaiting trial for culpable homicide have escaped from Kuje prison in the Federal Capital Territory. Prison officials say the jailbreak, which happened on Friday night, is being investigated. Now, they, however, denied reports that the suspected mastermind of the 2010 Independence Day bombing in Abuja, Charles Orka, is one of the escapees. The National Association of Resident Doctors has called off its 3-week-old strike. The association's president, Dr. Mohammed Askira, told journalists in Abuja that the decision to call off the strike was born out of the need to alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. That's the news at 10 tonight. Many thanks for watching.